so in this sort, we're looking at Greek and Latin number prefixes, mono, uni, bi, and tri. So we know there's a prefixes, and prefixes go at the front of the word and alter the meaning. So we're looking at these ones specifically, and these would be like your column headings. So you're going to make like 4 headings, mono, uni, bi, and tri. And then you'll put the words that have those prefixes underneath them. It's a pretty straightforward sort, where you might take the word uniform and put it under uni, or the word monolingual and put it under mono, or bi would have bilingual, tri would have triangle. And then say we look at like the words of those. What does uniform mean? It's like your school uniform generally means like everything's the same. So we're looking at that. What does monolingual mean? Well, let's compare it to bilingual. They both have lingual. That has to do with language. And I know bilingual is someone who can speak multiple languages. Specifically, it's someone who can speak 2 languages. So 2 languages. Oh, wow. That means that it is 2. Bi means 2 in languages. So if that's 2 languages, then monolingual means 1 language. An interesting worldly joke I've heard before is that, like, someone who's bilingual, can speak 2 languages, what do you call someone who's monolingual? And people are like, that's an American, because usually people in America are usually the ones that can only speak 1 language. Most other places in the world, people learn their native language and English. Anyways, go ahead and pause the video and try to sort these words, and I'm going to go through them and talk about some of their definitions in a minute. So pause the video, sort your words out into their columns, and then hit play and continue as I go on and talk about it. Okay, so hopefully you just pause the video. I'm going to now go down to the columns and just look at how we kind of ended up. So you have mono, and under mono you have monolingual, 1 language, monologue. It doesn't quite work. It's like a monologue is like the one person is speaking. So like think of like the word dialogue, right? Dialogue in the story. Monologue is like the one person like speaks in a play. Monotonous, monopoly, monorail, monotone. Monotone. A lot of times I talk in monotone, where you're like talking in one tone over and over, and you don't change your tone to be like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And so monotone. Monorail, that one is a great one, easily using the prefix 1 rail. It's a train that runs on 1 rail. Monopoly is it's like there's the game Monopoly, but the point of that is like one company owns everything, or one person runs everything and controls it all. That's called a monopoly. And monotonous, that's like 1, and like really monotony, the word monotony means like to do something over and over and over again. So monotonous is when you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Where I learned this word was when I was working at an Arby's. They said like it's like a monotonous job, because yeah, it's like you're just taking orders and filling in the orders, so the job can be kind of monotonous, which is fun sometimes. It's good to kind of just do the same thing over and over again. You get fast at it. Like practicing your math facts might be a monotonous task. Now we go to uni. You have like uniform, universal, unilaterally, unify. Generally, this is kind of like bringing things together. Uni also means 1. So just like mono means 1, uni is going to mean 1. Like uniform, everyone wears the same thing. Universal, it's 1 thing that's across the board. Unilateral is kind of like universal. Like it's a unilateral decision. 1 decision was made and we're going to stick to it. And unify is like 1, bringing everyone together in 1. Moving on to bilingual, or bi. That means 2. And so when we look at that, you're like bilinguals, 2 language. Biceps, that's the muscle in your arm. And guess how many muscles there are in the top of your arm? 2. Bi. It's not over here, but triceps is like the bottom of your arm, and there's 3 muscles there. Bisect. If you think about the word section, right? Section is like sex, so bisect would be 2 sections. It's when you actually split something in half. If a highway bisects a city, it's kind of splitting the city in half. Bi-monthly is usually, you hear that word, we're talking about like paychecks. Sometimes people get paid bi-monthly. That means twice a month. Bifocals, those are like regular glasses. Bifocals with 2 lenses. Bifocals. So you're going to have like, your regular glasses have like 1 lens on them, so you can see a certain way, and then like bifocals will usually allow people, like if they need reading glasses and regular glasses, they'll like be both. Those are bifocals. And biennial, I wonder what that one means, like bi and then ennial. maybe look that one up. See if you can figure out what biennial means. Like bi means 2, and then ennial, you have to kind of figure out what that root might mean for biennial. Interesting one. Kind of a little challenge there. Over here, these last group are your tries, your threes. Triangle is 3 angles. Triad. That's just kind of like a group of 3, like I might say someday in class. Get into a triad. Triceratops, that's that dinosaur with the 3 horns. Trilogy. Have you ever heard of a trilogy movie? Maybe Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Star Wars is coming out. Star Wars started out with just an original trilogy. Like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Star Wars trilogy. That's the one I think of. Where Lord of the Rings is a trilogy because it's 3 movies. And so the Star Wars movie that's coming out is going to be the first of the 3rd trilogy. There's like 3 trilogies in Star Wars, and this is the first one that's going to in the third trilogy. Triathlon. Think about athlon. Think athlete. What's an athlete? And a triathlon. So there's some connection there. Like a triathlon is like 3 different activities you do. Tripod. You put a camera on a tripod. So it has 3 legs. A tripod. And trillion is similar to million. It's actually 3 periods past the millions. So like you have your millions, and then you have billions, which would be BI, and then you have trillions in terms of those periods in the thousands place values. That'd be trillion. So a lot of money. And those are your try prefixes. This is, again, a sort titled Greek and Latin number prefixes, mono, uni, bi, and tri.